Hi there everyone, Bruno Luce here with a short video on how to adjust the drum monitor. The reason for this is that one of the drummers the other day mentioned to me that everything was fine during the sound check, but once the service started, they couldn't actually hear the monitor because the congregation was singing so loud. Now, in such a situation, it's good to know how to make the drum monitor louder. Drummers, you are extremely privileged in that you're the only people in St. George's Church who have a monitor that you can actually adjust yourself. So in this video, we'll take a look at the front panel of the amplifier and I'll tell you what all the knobs do. Now if you look across the front panel of the drum monitor, remember that the drum monitor is actually a keyboard amplifier. It's a Behringer KX1200 and it works extremely well for this purpose. There are an awful lot of knobs and this can be extremely confusing. They can be divided into essentially two sections. The first section, which runs from here to here, is the channel input sections. You have basically 4 pairs of knobs, one for each input channel. Now in this set, the only knob that you have to worry about is this very first knob here, which is labeled volume 1. That is where the send from the mixer is plugged in. So you must make sure that this is actually turned up, because if it's all the way down, you'll get no sound. So a good starting place is usually between 11 and 12 o'clock. All the other knobs of this first 8 should be turned down as shown here, because there's nothing connected to them on the back, and if you turn them up it will just get really noisy. The next 4 knobs after that are the EQ section, and again you shouldn't have to make too many changes here. You have bass, low mid, and high. As you can see, we roll the bass off just a little bit. The reason for this is that there's lots and lots of bass coming back from the front of house loudspeakers. So if you have a lot of bass here, it just muddies things up and makes things hard to hear. So we usually keep it set at a little bit less than 12 o'clock. If you find there's not enough bass, you can bring it up to 12 or even 2 o'clock, but don't go too high, because it can make things sound very muddy or even start things feeding back. Next to that, you have low mid. Now if you find that things are just very indistinct, hard to understand, you can cut your low mids. It's always better to cut rather than boost. It's better to take away the thing that is causing the problem than to try and amplify what sounds good. High mids, if things sound very harsh or extremely tinny, you can cut your high mids a little bit. If you find that you're having trouble hearing the voices, you can boost your high mids slightly. Again, a little bit goes a long way. You shouldn't need to go more than 3 o'clock or 9 o'clock on these controls. And finally, you've got your high. This is the high frequency, the treble, the air, and the sound. And once again, if things sound kind of cloudy, kind of muddy, you can boost your highs. And if things sound really, really bright, it's hurting your ears, you can cut the highs. But typically, we leave them all flat with a little bit of cut in the bass. Right at the end here, you have your master volume. The master volume, in the same way, is usually set between 11 and 12 o'clock. Because there's only one input to this, you can adjust either the channel volume or the master volume. It doesn't make any difference. Both are fine. Right at the end here, you have a headphone output. If you're the sort of drummer who likes to play using headphones, you can actually plug your headphones in here and it will take the same signal that's coming into the amplifier and put it into your headphones. The last thing to remember about the drum monitor is have it loud enough so that you can hear what you need, but don't have it too loud. And the reason for that is that the drum monitor is pointing upwards, and if it's too loud, the sound from this monitor gets picked up by the drum overheads, and it actually ruins the front of house sound. So by all means, turn it up so that you can hear what you need to hear, but don't have it any louder than you need to. So if you've got any questions about the drum monitor, you can contact me either through my YouTube page or via email, and I'll do my best to answer them. So this is Bruno Luce saying goodbye, take care, and I'll see you in church.